What's up, everyone? Happy Friday. It is September 10th, and we just finished watching SmackDown and AEW Rampage. So I'm here to talk about both shows because we kind of had a really good edition of SmackDown, probably one of the best SmackDowns in a very long time. In fact, I don't think we've had a SmackDown this good since SmackDown came back on the road, since WWE came back on the road and they had audience. I remember that being a really fun episode of SmackDown, and I don't think we've had one since, but boy, did they do a phenomenal job here tonight with SmackDown. So I can't wait to talk about that. On top of that, we had a pretty entertaining hour of AEW Rampage, which included an awesome match between Andrade and Pac, and we also had a really fun ending and a couple of other good stuff that we saw during the show. So there's gonna be so much to get into here today. So welcome everybody. We're gonna go ahead and get started. I'm gonna kick things off with AEW Rampage the way I normally do, and then we'll go ahead and get right into SmackDown. As you guys are here, welcome. Make sure you guys go ahead and leave some comments in the comment section. Stay active, and I will try to read some of your messages as we go through. It's almost the weekend, everybody. I'm so excited, BTW, because tomorrow is my day off, an entire day, and I'm not gonna do anything. Well, I'm gonna go to Disneyland, but in terms of like me doing anything, I'm not gonna do anything. It's gonna be great. But let's go ahead and get right into this. We got our first super chat of the day. This one is from Gio Rio, who says, going to sleep now after staying up to watch this night all live again, and it was an amazing night for wrestling fans. We'll watch your show tomorrow. This is so cute. Thank you so much for sending in a super chat to let me know you're gonna watch tomorrow. I appreciate you, Gio Rio. Thank you so much for doing that. We have another super chat from my good friend Brandon Charles Powell, who says, excellent Jake Atlas interview. Highly recommended. Also, still can't get used to this new Brock Lesnar look. It's so different, but I like it too. I got used to this Brock Lesnar look so fast. I mean, the man looks like he's gonna kill you, or like he can kill you in at least 100 different ways. I actually think he looks more terrifying than he did before. I love his new look. Like, I didn't want to mess with Brock Lesnar already as it was before. I definitely do not want to mess with him now. To me, he looks even more savage. But thank you so much to Brandon Charles Powell for also putting over my interview with Jake Atlas. That is one of the most loved interviews in terms of people that watched it and listened to the entire thing. I have gotten nothing but great feedback from so many different people that I admire telling me that they liked that interview. So I was very, very happy. If you want to listen to a really interesting story and kind of get a behind the scenes of what Jake Atlas, of what his roller coaster ride in WWE was like, you can definitely go ahead and check out that interview. Thank you so much to Brandon for reminding me of that and to go ahead and like post it up and whatnot, or promote it a little bit on here, guys. There's so much stuff I need to promote that I tend to forget, like so much that we need to do. But all right, guys, let's get into this. Let's get into AEW Rampage, and then again afterwards we'll go ahead and talk about SmackDown. All right, guys, so we kicked off AEW Rampage today with Pac versus Andrade. As you all know, this was a match that was supposed to take place at AEW All Out. And this was a match that I remember when we were going through the rundown of the card, not the official prediction show, but the rundown of the card as the matches were being announced. This was a match that I recall myself and a lot of people basically saying that this was going to be one of those matches that was really going to be like kind of like the match not to sleep on. People were going to be seeing some good in-ring wrestling here. That was something that was said for this match. Now, unfortunately, because of travel issues and all of that, this match was unable to take place at AEW All Out. So they had to do it on Rampage. And I got to say, though, that in a way, like, even though I do think had this match happened at AEW All Out, it would have been one of the top matches of the night. I am kind of glad that in a weird way we got to see this match unfold on AEW Rampage. And the reason for that is you got so many extra eyes watching this match. They were a major focal point on this show. And Pac and Andrade, we've been seeing them constantly on TV. We've been seeing them on Dynamite and all of that, but they necessarily haven't had the spotlight, so to say, as some other people. So with that being said, I thought that not only did they have a phenomenal match here, but they also had a really good opportunity to get some of that spotlight shined on them. And after this match, I just gotta say, if anybody was doubting, because nobody was doubting Pac, like we've seen Pac do a lot of cool stuff here in AEW. If anything, people have been clamoring for him to really get even more, right? But in terms of Andrade, I think a lot of people kind of really weren't sure. There was a lot of people that didn't really know what to expect from him. There were a lot of people that maybe they kind of lost a little bit of like, not like hope, but maybe they lost a little bit of interest in Andrade. Like that match with Matt Sydal was not necessarily anything great. I loved his match with Kenny Omega, but that obviously did not happen in AEW, but still. But we haven't really seen in AEW, I think, what Andrade can really do until today. I thought, if anything, today's match against Pac actually established him as more than just another guy on the roster. He's not just another guy on the AEW roster. I think after this match here today, a lot of people saw what he can do. You saw shades of his former self, La Sombra, and you definitely got that in this match here. Now, before I break down this match a little bit and what I actually really enjoyed about it, I'm going to read some super chats. We got one from Chris Ludek. Thank you so much to Chris, who says, enjoy Anaheim tomorrow. I might be there as well after I get back from San Diego. I love the SmackDown opening segment. If you interviewed Brock, what would you ask him? Oh man, Brock Lesnar is on my dream list of people that I would love to interview, but God, I would be so scared. I'd be so nervous. I'd be so intimidated, guys. I would have to really mentally prepare. Oh, but I know I could do it. If I ever got the chance, I would kill it, but I would be super intimidated though. But thank you so much to Chris Ludek for sending in this super chat. I do not have, by the way, to answer your question, I don't know what I'd ask him. It would depend on so many different things. We got a super chat from Reggie Simmons. Thank you so much to Reggie, who says it's 10 p.m. in Chicago. You know what that means? Speak Now Pro Wrestling. Let's get it. Hell yeah, guys. BTW, at some point in the coming weeks, I'm going to be celebrating my 100th episode. I really need to count because I need to go back and count how many episodes I've done, because I don't want to accidentally miss it and be like, oh, we're celebrating episode 101 because I missed episode 100. But thank you so much to Reggie Simmons for sending in that super chat. Thank you very much. All right, so let's get back into this match with Pac and Andrade. So some of my favorite things that we saw during this match, right away it kicked off with them exchanging back and forth punches. We saw Pac hit a hurricanrana on Andrade. We saw him do a flip dive onto the outside. We saw Andrade hit a beautiful springboard tornillo plancha, which was absolutely awesome to see. And this is the thing, guys, is that I mentioned again earlier that match with Matt Sydal, which really wasn't anything spectacular for Andrade, considering that it was his first match on AEW. So he had a lot of eyes on him. I do think that Andrade, he seems, and this is just from the outside perspective, looking in, he seems like the kind of person that really needs to be, I don't know if motivated is the right word, but he needs to be in there with guys who are elite workers so that he can feel a little bit more motivated and actually go out there and, go out there with his working shoes on and put these types of matches on. And so having him in matches with guys like Pac, I think is a great idea to kind of, again, get him inspired. That happens. You see talent that no matter who they're in the ring with, they're going to go out and do what they do best. And then there's certain talent that you kind of have to be, motivated or be excited about who they're in the ring with. So that's kind of what I feel from that, just as an outsider looking in. Some other moments during this match, we saw a beautiful moonsault from Pac. Pac hit a killer suplex as well. And then the finish, ladies and gentlemen. So the finish, I would say that some people liked it on, from what I saw on social media, and some people did not like this finish. So the finish that we saw is essentially Chavo hitting Pac with an iPad when the referee was distracted. I'm pretty sure it was the iPad, the little tablet thing or whatever they've been holding on to, whatever. So the referee was distracted, and that's how he's able to hit him. So then we're able to see essentially Andrade get the win here. But afterwards, Andrade ends up turning on Chavo. And I kind of like this. So I like this for multiple reasons. One, even though the finish, like a lot of people said, they didn't like it because this match they feel didn't need it. But at the same time, there were things that I liked about it. And this is why. One, you have him essentially turning on Chavo, which signifies that he did not like what Chavo did, how he interfered into this match. He did not like that. So he turned on him. That's it. They're done with that from the looks of it. And this also opens up an opportunity for perhaps Ric Flair. This has been a rumor. People have speculated that perhaps Ric Flair will be coming in and maybe being his manager. And here's the thing that I want to touch on, because I had a couple of people on social media basically telling me that they felt that it was too soon for Andrade to turn on Chavo. So here's why I have to disagree with that. So the only reason I have to disagree with that is, so when Andrade first came into AEW, they had Vicky Guerrero as his manager, okay? And not a lot of people were into that. They weren't really all that into the pairing of Vicky and Andrade. So what did they do? They kind of quickly dismantled that. They didn't really try to shove it down our throats whatsoever. So then you get into this Chavo thing. Okay, good. It wasn't necessarily bad. Like, people liked it more than the Vicky thing. But at the same time, I don't think it was getting as over as they might have wanted to. So again, they didn't shove it down our throats. So it seems to me like, we know, with Vicky kind of going in and coming out as the manager, then you have Chavo going in and kind of coming out as manager. I almost feel like they're doing a good job at not forcing these people into this position and kind of trying them out and seeing what the chemistry is like and what the connection is like with the audience. So that's why I think that I didn't mind this whatsoever. I did not see an issue with him turning on Chavo right away because of those reasons. Now, in terms of Pac and Andrade themselves, I also did not mind this finish. And the reason for that is, it looks like they're continuing this. They found a way to do it. They found a way to continue it. And we're going to see them continue it. So I'm totally cool with this. I thought that, again, even though the finish, a lot of people didn't like it, I thought there were a lot of different things that this finish helped out with. So there you guys go. Overall, I would say kudos on the opening match. I thought that Pac and Andrade definitely delivered. And again, if this match would have been on a pay-per-view, it would have definitely been awesome. But I do think that it was better off on AEW Rampage, again, just so they can get that focus that they probably would not have normally gotten. And then given the fact that AEW All Out had so much stuff that happened on that show, you didn't necessarily want them to be like an afterthought on top of all of the, you had the Lucha Brothers win the tag team titles, and then you have, the debuts of Ruby Soho, Bryan Danielson, Adam Cole, you have Minoru Suzuki. You don't necessarily want to have them be an afterthought. So in this position, they were not an afterthought, as you can see, since we've been talking about them for quite a while now. But we got a super chat from Heidi Ho 77. Thank you so much to Heidi Ho, who says, I saw Andrade and Ray live on SmackDown in Birmingham, Alabama. Best match I've ever saw in person. Been a huge Andrade fan since. Dude, Andrade's awesome. That's the thing, is like, we got used to this like kind of rundown version of Andrade, but lately, like, now we're starting to see, again, his former self, as La Sombra. We're starting to see that version come out in him once again. So thank you so much to Heidi Ho for sending in this super chat. We got another one from Buffalax Speed Runs, who says that the Cincy crowd was fire. A+ AEW shows this week. I agree. They had a big pay-per-view to follow. I thought they did a pretty good job with AEW Dynamite, aside from that main event, which we talked about on Wednesday's show. But aside from that, I thought they did a good job of promoting that show and just hyping it up and keeping the momentum and all of that. And then today's Rampage, I thought today's Rampage was a really solid episode of Rampage. I think I would put it up there with one of my favorites. And the reason for that is because, obviously there's only been a couple now, but I would say that obviously the first Rampage that we got was really good. Then the Rampage with CM Punk was really great. And then I would probably put this one up there with those two as well. So good stuff all around. Thank you so much to Buffalax Speed Runs for sending in that super chat. And we got another one from Michael Raleigh. Thank you so much to Michael, who says, if Chavo has to ruin the finish of this match so that El Idolo and Pac can wrestle again, I'm completely okay with it. I wasn't sure where you were going with this. I was like, oh man, is he going to agree? Is he going to disagree? What's going to happen here? Really good way of wording in your super chat, Michael. Usually I can tell which direction people are going to go in. I couldn't tell which direction you were heading in here. I was like, oh, he's either going to trash this or he's not. We'll see what happens. But yeah, I was okay with the finish. I didn't mind it. And here's the thing is that match delivered. I felt that it delivered. Considering that it was on a Rampage, I thought it delivered. We saw so much that we hadn't seen from Andrade in such a long time. We saw, all the things that we love from Pac. I was a fan of this. I didn't hate it. I really did not hate it. So thank you so much to Michael for sending in that super chat in there. I appreciate it. And I'm going to read some non-super chat comments right now to kind of get some of everybody else's thoughts here. But let's see, we got a comment from Keith who says that he loved this match and it looks like Flair is ready to become all elite and solidify a face turn for Andrade. Gotta appreciate how AEW pivots when they know something isn't working. Yeah, I see. I'm so glad that you brought that up because that was, again, what I just mentioned, that they're quickly, like you said, pivoting from, manager to manager, because if it's not working, don't shove it down our throats. All right. I'm cool with that. Lenny sends in a comment and says that Andrade brings in Flair, who then recruits backup for Andrade, who can contend with the Luchas. Andrade is, with the Lucha Brothers. Andrade is going to be excellent for them. This was easily match of the night by a wide margin. I know people are probably not going to like what I have to say, but I have to say it. I liked Pac versus Andrade more than Jon Moxley, Minoru Suzuki. Now, I know people are like, oh, blasphemy, Denise Salcedo. How could you? Point blank, that match did not get enough time. And that match did not get enough time. Had they probably had more time, I would have been here saying a different story. But in terms, if I had, I quickly thought about it. I was like, man, I enjoyed this match more than that one. And my excitement level was a lot higher for the Jon Moxley match with Minoru Suzuki. So there you go. Please do not trash me in the comments. Let's see what else we got here, guys. Let's see what else we got. This is a comment from Drew O, who says that Andrade did need someone with more oomph in delivery because Chavo was too laid. Or I don't know if you're saying Andrade's too laid back or Chavo was too laid back, but I think that Chavo was a little too laid back. As much as I like Chavo, I just didn't think he brought, I don't know what it is. I didn't like the pairing. I really did not really care that much for the pairing. And that's not to take anything away from Chavo. It just didn't work for me. It just did not work for me. Christopher says Ric Flair is going to become Andrade's manager. It's going to be awesome as well. Well, we'll see, guys. Again, this is just all speculation, but based again on how things unfolded here today, I think we can say it's a safe speculation, at least right now. Let's see what else we got. We got a super chat from Christopher Marino, who actually says that, sorry, one second. Christopher says that he was so glad Andrade gave Chavo the boot. He was dragging him down. See, I told you guys, a lot of people were not feeling this Chavo Andrade pairing. All right, cool. They tried it. It didn't stick. We're moving past. Sounds great to me. All right. Let's see if I got anything else. I want to make sure I want to get a couple of thoughts in here and I'll move on. Actually, we got another super chat from Diego Chacon via Mizar. Thank you so much to Diego. He says, okay, so Flair in his debut promo has to say something about the train ride. Oh, come on, Diego. I did not know where you I did not know where you were going to go with this. I was like, I thought you were going to say that you wanted him to say something about WWE. I was like, all right, I can see that happening. Sure. But the train ride, come on. He went on Twitter and said that it wasn't him, but just to make my life a little bit more interesting and the lives of others a little bit more interesting in my world, in my in the world that I have fantasized. That's it. It's Ric Flair. It's Ric Flair to me, okay? Don't take that away from me, all right? Do not take that away from me. I need the drama. Thank you so much to Diego for sending in this super chat here. We got a comment from Chaotic Fantasy, who also agrees and says that both Vicky and Chavo felt like they didn't connect well with Andrade. Exactly here. Exactly. And then we got a comment from Wonderstruck who says, laid back is what Andrade is all about. Tranquilo. All right, guys. We're going to go ahead and move on from here. Oh, man, guys. All right, here we go. Let's see. Let's get into really quickly. We had a quick segment here with Darby and Sting and Tully and Sean Spears. Really quickly, we had Darby and Sting come out and they basically, address some of the comments that were made from Tully and Sean Spears. And they basically, Darby tells Sean Spears that he's just a generic POS. You guys know what POS means. Essentially telling him he is nothing. There's this big conversation about people riding people's coattails, etc. They kind of go back and forth on this. Tully ends up coming out here, and as he's talking, he's sort of distracting both Sting and Darby. This allows Sean Spears to attack Darby from behind. Sting eventually sees this, and then that's pretty much what ends up going down here. This really wasn't, to me, this wasn't really anything major, but it happened. It was on the show, and that was kind of about it. Junkyard done. POS, points of sales. Oh, come on, guys. I'm trying to curse a lot less on these shows. Haj Gulashi, plain old sausage. Dang it. KW, pizza on the side. You know what? I don't even know what to say. All right. We're going to move on because after this, we had a vignette from Adam Cole and Bryan Danielson. Really quickly, a nice video package here. Adam Cole basically says that he trusts Kenny Omega with his life. He trusts the Young Bucks with his life and vice versa. And he pretty much puts that relationship over. And then you have Bryan Danielson who kind of comes in and he's basically saying that, he's here in AEW and he's ready to play the game here in AEW. So that was pretty much that. After this, let's go ahead and jump into that 6-woman tag here. We had Ruby Soho, Riho, Chris Statlander versus Britt Baker, Jamie Hayter, and Rebel. This was a pretty little, this was a fun match, guys. I liked it. For what it was, I definitely enjoyed it. It was very quick. I mean, obviously everything on Rampage is, but we had Riho, and Riho, I gotta put over Riho for a second, guys, because she has I don't know what it is, but I feel like as time has gone by, I've become a bigger fan of Riho, which doesn't make sense because they haven't even been necessarily highlighting her all that much on the show. But for some reason, she has crept into a soft spot in my heart. I don't know what happened. I don't know what shifted. Whatever. Anyway, so Riho, she does the 619 on Jamie. That was fun. There was a moment, guys. I'm going to go on a little bit of a 10-second feminist rant, if you will. Jim Ross calls Riho a little lady. Guys, I hate that term. I literally rolled over. I'm not kidding you guys. I legitimately hate when I hear men call women little ladies. It drives me nuts. That's just me being super feminist or whatever you want to call me. I don't know. I hated it. I hated it. And I hated it. Do not call women's wrestlers who are supposed to be badasses that are kicking ass on the screen little ladies. Whatever. That's just me being annoyed. Anyways, we get another awesome spot afterwards where we see Rio get on the shoulders of Chris Statlander. Chris Statlander, I was putting this over when I was talking about her AEW All Out match with Britt Baker. I was putting her over during that because one of the things that we saw a lot from her in this match was really a lot of strength. Again, we see shades of it here today. She picks up Riho, has Riho perfectly balanced on her shoulders. Riho ends up doing a double stomp off of Chris Statlander's shoulders. Loved this spot. I think afterwards we see Riho do a crossbody. I forgot who she did it to on the outside, but in the end, we end up seeing a Ruby Soho get the win for her team after pinning Rebel. So pretty fun, a fun match. I enjoyed it, guys. Good stuff all around. We got to see a little bit of all these women. So I was a fan. KW says deathmatch Denise coming for JR. Don't call us little ladies, guys. Come on. I don't know what I was trying to think of this. I don't know what the alternative for males is. Like, I'm not a dude. I can't tell you. I don't know if you, I don't know what the alternative for a guy would be, but for a woman to call her a little lady, it's just like, oh, come on. Come on. All right, let's see what else we got here. I'm gonna go through a couple more comments here. This one's from the Cooge97 who says AEW fans love Riho. Yeah, dude, come on, she's awesome. And let me go through a couple more comments here. Wonderstruck says that they're looking forward to Riho versus Britt Baker more than Soho versus Britt Baker. Interesting, dude. People are fans of different people, so there you go. Our Riggs says Riho may not appeal to many hardcore fans, but most less hardcore fans love her. She has a personality that hits people. Yeah, I've been liking her so much lately. Again, I don't know what it was, but anyways, we're going there. And let's see what else we got here. All right, I think I'm going to go ahead and move on unless I skip something. I try to see as many comments as I possibly can again, but we'll go ahead and move on, guys. And let's go ahead and jump into, oh my gosh, we're already at the main event, guys. BTW, after this, we will be talking about SmackDown. Don't go anywhere. That was a fantastic show. I can't wait to get into it. We got a super chat from my good friend, Christopher Marino, who says, not sure which women's match was better, SmackDown or Rampage or oh, wait, thumbs down, SmackDown. Wait, what? What? Oh, okay, I get it now. I get it. Sorry. For a second, I did not get your comment, but yes. So we'll talk, well, I might as well mention it now. So there was supposed to be, and let me correct this really quickly so I make sure I got my facts here straight. Damn it. Hold on one second, guys. 1 second. All right. So there was supposed to be a women's match on SmackDown that ended up getting cut. This was reported by Fightful Select, guys. So basically it was supposed to be Liv Morgan. This is from Fightful Select, quote, Liv Morgan and a tag team partner. We're still looking to identify. We're set to take on Carmella and Zelina on the show. But apparently there might have been some time issues or something like that, or it didn't go as planned. So that match was supposed to happen. So we did not get a women's match tonight on SmackDown. We got a women's segment, but we did not get a women's match. And this cutting Zelina's match tonight was probably kind of a little bit like sad because she lost her father in 9/11. So it was kind of like, I think it would have been a nice tribute for her to have this match, especially, in New York on the eve of September 11th. And I believe, yeah, anyways, but there you go. I know that's what you were trying to get at there for a second, Christopher. But we're going to go ahead and move on here, guys. And let's go ahead and jump into that main event on AEW Rampage, and then we'll jump into SmackDown. So we had Max Caster versus Brian Pillman Jr. And I already put over Brian Pillman Jr. and the whole MJF segment on Wednesday, which was phenomenal. These next few weeks are going to be pretty fun for Brian because, you had that great segment on Dynamite. Then he has this match today against Max Caster, which really the purpose of this match was to, get him a nice win before he heads into that match with MJF at the Arthur Ashe show. So this match served its purpose. It had, Brian Pillman coming out and looking pretty great in this match and, essentially winning. He ended up winning after he hit a springboard clothesline on Max Caster for the win. Good stuff, guys. After this, we do see Anthony Bowens and Max Caster attack Brian Pillman Jr. So John Moxley, the hometown boy, along with Brian Pillman Jr., he ends up coming out, running out, helping him out, and they close out the show in a nice little celebration. However, I do want to kind of go back a little bit, and I did like the fact that, so we haven't seen Max Caster since the whole big, dilemma and all of that, So he comes out and he does his rap, and that's what got him in trouble in the first place. And I was wondering, I was like, I wonder if he's going to throw in a line that is maybe going to, address something of the events that occurred. He did it. And when he was done, I was like, oh, okay, I guess he did it. But then Anthony Bowens throws in a really great line, and I completely popped for it. It was, quote, "You got to watch yourself, Caster. You're on thin ice." That's it. It completely popped me, guys. I was completely I was laughing super loud during that. But anyways, Brian Pillman Jr. gets a nice win on the main event of AEW Rampage. Good stuff. Good for him, guys. And also, his sister did end up having the baby. I think today was when I saw the post. So that baby is coming for MJF after all of the crazy stuff that he said on Dynamite. All right, guys, let's see what else we got here. And let's get some thoughts in here. This one is from Young Blood Ginger, who says they set the line for Max. They set the line for Max. He can rap promos, but just not about things that can piss off the sponsors. Lesson learned. MJF should teach him the way. And everybody's talking about that he already did it on Dark. Damn it. Oh, sorry, I wasn't supposed to curse on here. Damn it. Oh, ding, I did. Okay, that's it. I'm done. All right. Lenny Banner says, excellent ending with Max helping out Pillman with Griff out due to the attack on Wednesday night. AEW has done a great job of doing right by the hometown folks. Yeah. You don't want to bury the person in their hometown. Let them get a little pop, guys. Come on. I won't hurt anybody. And anonymous redneck says, loved Flying Brian's ring gear, good tribute, and looked awesome. And we got Sean here putting over Max's promo. A lot of people putting over his promo, etc. All right, guys. So that was AEW Rampage. Actually, before we move on, I'll read this comment from Justin, who says that this was a great moment for Pillman to win and celebrate with Moxley. It's really easy to root for Pillman with a really nice dude. And that was pretty much AEW Rampage. I thought it was a pretty good show. What really made this show was honestly that Pac Andrade match. And then again, I did like the main event as well. But let's get into SmackDown, ladies and gentlemen, because they had a really good show today. I cannot stress this enough. A really good show. BTW, thank you so much to James Riley, who sends in a super chat saying, damn it. Oh no, now we're starting the Denise, damn it, Salcedo. Dang it. All right, whatever. We're moving on, guys. Thank you so much to James Riley, though, for this awesome super chat. I thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. All right. Question the Mark says, an actual good WWE show. Yes, an actual good WWE show. And I'm going to get into it and I'm going to talk about why it was awesome. So if you missed the show, don't worry. I'm going to fill you in on all of the great moments that we had. So as you all know, SmackDown was emanating from Madison Square Garden. Big important venue. You guys already know that. And they kicked off the show with Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns comes out and he's essentially talking about how he's practically the head of that he runs New York, that New York is his city, etc., right? And then you have Brock Lesnar coming out. So Brock Lesnar comes out and he basically just straight up tells Paul Heyman, why didn't you tell Roman I was gonna be at SummerSlam? And then it was kind of like this oh shoot moment, because in him saying this, it's like, okay, that means Paul Heyman knew, and Paul Heyman chose not to tell Roman Reigns, right? So it kind of puts him in a really icky situation there. So, okay, great. So then you have like this Roman Brock face off, okay? And the fans are losing their cool, okay? Everybody feels like a big deal, guys. And that's the thing that I did want to get over, that I did want to get across to the viewers and everybody watching and everybody on Twitter or whoever didn't watch the show, etc. That this felt, and I know we've seen this before, right? We've seen this before, but this still felt very, very, it felt like a hot angle. It feels like a hot angle. It doesn't feel like they've had something like this in a while, guys. I was legitimately Oh my God, we're having Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar right now. This is the hottest Roman Reigns has ever been. He has never been on more of a streak, more on fire than he has been, the last, year or so, whatever. So this felt legit. And then we mentioned earlier, Brock has this new look, and just like Brock Lesnar's Brock Lesnar. Like I've said this before, I'm a big Brock Lesnar fan, so I was marking out for this. So after he hits him with that line telling Paul Heyman that why didn't he tell Roman Reigns that he was going to be there at SummerSlam, Roman Reigns obviously does not take that very easily. And he looks at Paul Heyman, and Paul Heyman's holding his championship bout, and he takes it away from him, and he just gives him this I'm disappointed in you look, kind of like this. I don't know, man. I felt so heartbroken for a split second. I was like, this is sad. This is very, very sad. All right, great. So Roman decides to leave Paul Heyman in the ring there with Brock Lesnar, and Paul Heyman does the most Paul Heyman thing ever, and he aligns himself with Brock Lesnar. He does his grand, introduction that he normally does for Brock Lesnar, and I'm thinking to myself, oh my God, Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman are back together. And kid you not, I tweeted out, I'm all freaking out, I'm all excited, and then I don't even think a minute later, I tweeted out this tweet aged very badly. And the reason for that is Brock Lesnar essentially grabs Paul Heyman and tells him that he wants to challenge Roman Reigns. And he tells Paul Heyman to make it happen. And he gives him, I think, 5 seconds or something. And he starts counting him down. And obviously Paul Heyman's just he doesn't know what to do. He's all freaked out, right? So Brock Lesnar picks him up for the F5. So Brock Lesnar is not necessarily just going to take Paul Heyman. No, he gets him up for the F5. Roman Reigns comes back and ends up Superman hitting him with the Superman punch. And then after this, all hell breaks loose. Brock Lesnar just starts doing suplexes on everybody and their mother. This was fantastic, guys. I think top to bottom, the interaction with Roman Reigns, the interactions with Brock Lesnar, the whole story with Paul Heyman, the suplexes, the twists and the turns here, the excitement of the crowd, it felt like a big deal. If they hit a home run here, I would say that this was a really strong opening segment for SmackDown, and I was a fan. We got a super chat here from Malcolm Mitchell who says, Brock was out of the arena in 20 minutes. Very smart. You know what? Brock comes and goes, guys. Brock does what he wants. He's Brock Lesnar. If anybody's going to do what they want, it's going to be Brock Lesnar. So anyways, thank you to Malcolm Mitchell for pointing that out here. We got a comment from Cameron Mumford who says, give us an awesome opening segment and you got us for the rest of the show. This is exactly what they did here. Roman Brock, if only they consistently had this kind of passion on all their shows. Yeah, treat every show like it's a show in Madison Square Garden, at least for a good time, at least for a good chunk of time, to kind of reverse the image that right now Raw and SmackDown, and mainly Raw, has. You need to get people back on board here. You got to get people back invested into the creative, into the storylines. So I would say do all that you can right now to get those people from going away. Aaron says, can we talk about Paul Heyman selling his facial expressions? They are always on point. When Brock asked him why he didn't tell Roman that he was coming. That's the thing about Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman's facial expressions are always on point there. Let's see what else we got here. We'll go through a couple more comments. This one is from Wonderstruck, who says that the opener was solid, and then the 10-man tag was a throwaway, nothing special. Says Edge versus Rollins rules, though. The main event was good. Hated the DQ. Saw it coming million miles away. Hated the kick out of the Uso splash too. And then with Demon Finn Balor being back, etc. We'll get into this, but there's a lot that I did like on here that I know you mentioned just now in your comment, but there were some really good stuff there, guys. We got a super chat from Finbar White who says, hey, Denise, enjoy your shows. Do you think a lot of the wrestling shows trying to cram too much in, which gives the wrestling time to breathe? Keep smiling. Do you think a lot of the wrestling shows trying to cram too much? Okay. We've had this discussion before, and it's mainly about AEW. And yeah, there are times where I think that they put too much. Here's the thing, though. I enjoy that like fast-paced show. I do. I enjoy the fast-paced shows. I like knowing that, I don't have to wait too long for something else to happen and we keep the show moving and we keep that flow going. I'm a fan of that, right? But there are certain times where I do think it's a little too much, where I would say slow it down a little bit. Let us enjoy this for a second. Let us slowly transfer into something else. And again, I've mentioned this so many times, but as a person who reviews the show and who is trying to write down notes and is trying to tweet at the same time, I find myself doing this like a zillion times, bobbing my head up and down because I'm trying to make sure I do not miss anything on the show. And I'll literally be writing down the finish of a match, and already we're like 20 seconds into a promo or something, right? So things happen very fast. But again, I think a perfect example of this, and I hate to kind of be shoving it down everybody's throats, but a perfect example of timing and etc. Literally just this Wednesday with that Jon Moxley Minoru Suzuki match, there was a lot of timing issues there. I'm not going to go into that again, but that's a perfect example of what you kind of just brought up right now. Brandon Charles Powell makes a joke and says that Paul Heyman pretty much has 2 prom dates. Paul Heyman, man, he's got both the ladies. He's got both of them. Well, not really. I don't think Brock Lesnar's like, do what you want. Roman Reigns is kind of like, I don't know. Anyways, we're moving on. I'll go on a tangent. Grande Hero says, I thought this was a great opening and it was on fire. My only issue was they muted the crowd when they were chanting, "You fucked up" at Paul. It was the world's longest mute. Oh my God. Like I knew why they muted it, right? Because of the bad words, etc. But it went on forever. Like if something was said by Paul or by Brock or by Roman, none of us heard it. None of us heard nothing because it was muted for what felt like 30 seconds. And I'm sure it wasn't 30 seconds, but it felt like a full 30 seconds. So yeah, I was definitely not a fan of the muting, but again, you don't want to have the curse words and all of that up there. And we got a super chat from the Cooge97 who says, Denise, loved your AEW pay-per-view blog last night. A short dude es un chaparrito. Sigue adelante and keep living tus sueños. No olvides que eres la mera mera. Thank you so much to the Cooge97. The Cooge97 is essentially just telling me to keep chasing my dreams and says I'm the la mera mera like Thunder Rosa. So thank you so much to the Cooge97. I appreciate and thank you for your support. That AEW vlog that I posted did some numbers. It's up on my channel right now. And I think the last time I checked, which was a couple of hours ago before SmackDown started, it was almost about to hit 10K. I don't know if it has yet, but I'm sure it will be in a couple of hours. So make sure to check it out, guys. I'm also about to hit 50K on YouTube. I can't even believe it, guys. I'm almost about to hit 50K on YouTube. For somebody that like started their channel from scratch, from nothing, it feels pretty dynamic. So I'm very excited. But anyways, let's see what we got here. We got a comment from Sticker Reds 202 who says, I haven't been this excited for a Brock match in a long time, but I'm dying for someone to unseat Roman from the head of the table. I don't know. I know there's theories that it might be Finn Balor. I'm not ready yet, guys. I really like what they're doing with Roman Reigns. I want Roman Reigns to be that champion for like ever and be like such a douche about it. I like that. I really do. I like that. Anyways, all right, we got a super chat from Brandon. Thank you so much to Brandon who says Paul Heyman has 2 prom dates. Uh-oh. You can't go well. It cannot go well. But thank you so much for sending in that super chat right then and there. And we got another one from Malcolm Mitchell who says, please don't ever cry again. I can't take that. You know what? At least there was some good drama on my vlog. You know what I was thinking too? That vlog started to feel like my very own reality TV show. You go into all of these reality TV shows with like all of like those. I mean, I don't watch these shows, but I've seen the commercials of like the Real Housewives and, you know, all those other shows. And there's always someone crying. There's always someone getting mad. I had my very own reality TV show. There you go. All right, guys, let's go ahead and move on here. Let's hop into something else here. Let's get into that 10-man tag team match. This was a really quick match, but there were some things to talk about here. So we had the 10-match tag team match. This was the Dirty Dogs, Apollo Crews, Otis, and Sami Zayn. Oh my gosh. I was about to say Sammy Owens, and then I was going to say Sammy Guevara. I could not for the life of me remember Zayn. Sami Zayn versus the Mysterios, Ray and Dom, Boogs, and Nakamura. So the big thing to get at here, guys, is that WWE scored Trey Young. Trey Young was on the show here today. So heads up, guys, I am like not a big like sports fanatic, but I'm engaged to a big sports fanatic. So when it comes to sports, I have a go-to person to get this information and find out, is this guy a big deal? And essentially he's a big deal. So he's the point guard for the Atlanta Hawks, and essentially was responsible for single-handedly eliminating the Knicks. As you guys know, it's a New York team. From this year's playoffs, essentially. And he got so much, like they were hating him so much in New York that they literally had F Trey Young chants. And you can go on YouTube, because I was watching those today. You can go on there and you can listen to this, like just an arena full of people so legitimately upset. Like this guy is hated in New York because of essentially what went down there. He's a legit star in the NBA. So he is a big deal, and it was a big deal that they were able to essentially get him here to do this appearance on, WWE television. This is definitely going to be like on all of your, major sports channels and on, major sports shows where they talk about this type of stuff at Sports Center, etc. So good coverage for WWE. Good stuff all around. Alrighty, guys. And let's see what else I wanted to get in here. So Trey, he's outside watching this match, right? He's in the ringside. But during this match, he ends up choking out Rey Mysterio. The referee sees this, so the referee kicks him out. So I thought that was pretty funny. But in the end, we end up seeing Big E get the win here. And that's what we need to get at, because they spent, I would say maybe there was 2 times on this show where they teased Big E essentially possibly cashing in on Roman Reigns. And obviously they're bound to do that given that he has the briefcase, etc. But they really have been doing it. They did it a couple weeks ago where he was staring down Paul Heyman and, he had the Money in the Bank briefcase and, he was kind of like taunting him. Well, we saw that again today. And then we also had a post-match promo where he essentially alludes to cashing in on Roman Reigns. So that's pretty much what you want to get at. Again, big deal that they had Trey Young, and good that they had Big E win. Also, Big E, like, this is a guy that's always been in shape, guys. As you know, he's always been in shape. But one of the things that I noticed here today is that he's getting even more in shape, guys. And I don't know if that's a sign that maybe he's getting into that, championship, leveling it up, that championship bod. Who knows? But that's definitely what I got from there. But let's see what else we got here, guys. Go ahead and send in your thoughts here on how you guys felt about all of this. And let's see what we got. So many different comments here about so many different things. All right, this one is from Drew Scott, who says, whoever thought of adding Trey Young to the show deserves an instant race. This guy is legitimately despised by Knicks fans, so bringing him in tonight was pure genius. Publicity and heel heat, bro. I completely agree with you. And it was funny, like I mentioned, I'm not big on, here's the thing. I'm not big on sports, but I know when major things are happening. And I recall, hearing about the hate that Trey Young was getting when this all went down. So anyways, thank you guys for sending that in. We got one from Marty who says, another good night of pro wrestling, best SmackDown of the decade, and a few decent sparks on Rampage. Jungle Boy is the main man. Roman is the head of the wrestling business. I don't know about the best SmackDown of the decade, because there's just been so many SmackDowns that I can't even remember which one I would consider the best SmackDown of the decade. But it was definitely a strong SmackDown, though. Definitely a strong SmackDown. And we'll go through a couple more comments here. And Jeremy points out that getting Trey Young is a massive New York City troll. Agree. Question the Mark says, I don't watch sports anymore. Really would rather watch pro wrestling. Never thought I would say that again. Man, All right, let's see what else we got here. And then Sumaya points out the AEW guy Yanis. Yeah, he's obviously super, super popular as well. All right, let's see what else we got here. And all right, I think I got most. Oh, I do want to point this out here. Samoan Joseph says Biggie with that non-smoking ad. So there was the whole, you guys have been seeing the whole metal in your lungs commercials for the anti-vaping and all of that. I thought that they were gonna, I don't know. Okay, so when the commercial started, it was like a boy or a teenager or whatever, and he's like, I don't know, like moving around the screen, and they're like tossing chairs and I don't know, ladders, or maybe it was just chairs, whatever. But they were tossing the chairs and weapons at him. And I'm thinking, are they going to promote tables, ladders, and chairs now? All right, cool. I don't know. I thought maybe they were going to make an announcement of some sort. I don't know what I was expecting, but I was expecting an announcement. So it completely threw me off when it ended up being a commercial for like anti-vaping. I was like, oh, okay. I didn't see it coming. All righty. Good for Big E getting some commercial spots. Good for him. We got a super chat from Finbar White who says, would you rather see Finn Balor beat Roman or Big E beat Roman? Ooh, Finbar White asking the money question. Oh, man. Oh, you really stumped me there. But you know what? If I had to choose, and the booking went great, if I had to choose, I would go with Finn Balor. And the reason for that is the type of matches that he could have, and that's not to take away anything from Big E, but I'm just drawn more to Finn Balor's in-ring style. So because of that, I would go with Finn Balor. But here's a but. Big E has a lot of potential. He has the potential to be a very different champion. So that's the thing. Finn Balor and Big E, two totally different champions. Totally different champions. It's kind of like, what do you prefer? What kind of champion do you prefer? For me, I would go with Finn Balor. But again, I would not mind to see Big E. Damn, Finbar, put me on the spot. That's a good question. I love it. Thank you so much for utilizing your super chat with a really good question and making me think, man. I was really trying to think like, okay, I got to give a really, I got to really think about my answer here, you know, because, you know, you say something on the internet, it really sticks with you, man. Really sticks with you. And this is a comment from Aaron who says that Finn deserves another run. His last run was derailed because of injury. We got Brandon saying he wants to see Walter beat Roman, but probably won't get his wish. Don't count on it. Don't count on that wish, guys. Do not count on it. And we got a bunch of people basically saying Big E on Raw, cash in on Bobby Lashley. He did mention that too, that he could show up to Raw. That was something that was briefly mentioned as well. So I would not mind that whatsoever either. That would be good too. All right. And okay, cool. Let's go ahead and move on. So after this, what do we got here? All right, after this, we got into the Bianca Belair, Becky Lynch segment where they do their signing for their match. I gotta tell you guys, I don't know. I'm not completely in love with this. Becky comes out. She's essentially putting herself over. She basically tells Bianca, you could be a fan or you could be the man. She tells her, you know, I can come out here and I can beat you in 20 seconds. And then Becky basically starts saying that she doesn't want to sign it, etc. And she starts saying she cut a you people promo and she says, quote, I left my baby girl at home for you people. And I just got to say, guys, I feel like instead of Becky Lynch being a heel in the sense of being a heel, but as an extension of the character of the man, I feel like she's turning in the heel work more into like this diva heel work, more into like a Hollywood Becky Lynch, so to say, a diva Becky Lynch. But that's the thing, though. Becky Lynch was never a diva. So it doesn't make sense for her to be this type of heel. Her heel work should be an extension of the man. And so I'd hate to do these comparisons, but it just really was there in back of my mind, she should be doing something similar to what Britt Baker is doing. And I do not like to compare, and neither one could be doing what the other person's doing. They both bring different things to the table. Big fan of both of them. But I do think that Britt Baker is doing more of what I thought I was going to get from Becky Lynch as a heel. But instead, she's kind of being more of that like whiny type of heel. So I don't know. It's not really sticking for me. It doesn't feel natural to who Becky Lynch is. It doesn't feel natural to who Becky Lynch was. Those are my thoughts on that, guys. That's pretty much it. That's pretty much all I wanted to get at here. Let's see what else we got here. We got a comment saying that Jeremy is just not a natural heel. Someone says that she should be, obviously more of like the, Stone Cold Steve Austin type of heel. Again, that like cool heel that everybody loves to, the heel that everybody loves to cheer for, essentially. That sort of thing. We got a comment from Nicole who says Becky should be a tweener rather than cutting the You People promos. Grande Hero says this wasn't a bad segment, but I would have rather seen the women's tag match that got bumped than this. It was the weakest part of the show. We got a lot of people basically saying they agree and just basically saying she feels more like a natural face. And Alonzo wants to know if Britt is seen as a heel to AEW fans. Again, she's a heel, but you love her as a heel. So she's doing the job right, essentially. Like she's not an MJF type of heel. Well, see, that's the difference too. You got MJF, like you also MJF is also a different type of heel. She's not like a Dan Lamb. There's so many different types here where I'm trying to get at. But the point is, it just does not feel natural to who Becky Lynch is. It doesn't feel natural to who she is. And let's see what else we got here. I'm going to go through a couple more comments, make sure I didn't miss anything. And someone says they don't like the whole man gimmick. I was a fan of the man gimmick definitely got over. So that's not even an issue, man. That's not even an issue. But it just feels like this doesn't feel like Becky Lynch. I hope it gets better. I really do hope it gets better. All right, guys, here we go. Let's go ahead and move into this next match, which was Seth Rollins versus Edge. And this is their follow-up match to SummerSlam. And at first I was like, man, why are we getting this match again? Like, we already kind of got it. I didn't watch last week's SmackDown, so I'm like, I don't know what happened because I was in Chicago. I just didn't have the time to watch SmackDown, as you guys all know. But when this match started, I thought they did a pretty great job. And see, they had a great match at SummerSlam. So I already knew that they were going to have a pretty great match tonight on SmackDown too. But I do have to say that the crowd, oh man, they were really into this match. Like the crowd was hot for this match. They felt, I don't even know, like they felt so hot for this match that it's almost like if they didn't even watch, it was almost like the SummerSlam match didn't happen because that's how much they were into this match here. But we saw a lot of good stuff in here. We saw Seth Rollins do Beth Phoenix's glam slam on Edge. He did it twice. We saw Edge hit the pedigree. He goes for a pin, gets a 2 count. We see a lot of back and forth here. They do a lot of near falls. We tend to see that a lot in Seth Rollins matches, but it's okay. The crowd gets really into it here. Gets really into it when you see that type of stuff. Then towards the end, we see Seth Rollins ends up hitting a low blow on Edge when the referee isn't looking. So obviously this ends up giving him the upper hand to eventually get to the finish. He super kicks him. The crowd is booing. They're pissed because they weren't expecting this is how the match was going to essentially unfold. And then Seth Rollins yells to Edge and he says, "Why won't you die?" And then super kicks him again in the face. And then he stomps him. And that is how he is able to get the win here. So they end up stretching Edge out. And it kind of seems to me, at least, that Edge may be gone for a little while. So at least we're finally going to get Seth Rollins possibly moving on to something else. But it seems to me like Edge is going to be gone for a hot minute there. And let's see what else we got here. We got a comment from Aaron who basically says this was a great match. Edge's selling was so good. Jeremy also thinks that Edge is getting ridden off of TV for the foreseeable future. And Ultimate Bulldog says, great match, but Seth's music to me does not work. It's very generic. And that's the thing. You can't have generic music. Like the music, as you guys know, in the live events, your favorite wrestlers coming out, if they're your favorite wrestler, and then on top of that, they got great music, you're going to go nuts. You can't have generic music. Seth's song feels generic. I miss his old song. Yeah, I agree with that too. And Nicole says that they do not feel that this match is over, feels that they're getting a part 3. This kind of felt like a goodbye for right now. This definitely felt like a goodbye. Pelmy Wrestling says, excellent match above Andrade versus Pac and Sheamus versus Drew. I think out of all of those, I think I still preferred Andrade versus Pac. But again, that's just my personal taste in wrestling and what I personally am drawn to a little bit more. And let's see what else we got here. I think we got most of everything there. Awesome. So we're going to go ahead and move on because after this, we had just one final segment, actually. But before I get into that final segment, I want to remind you all, do not forget to subscribe to F4W Online. If you guys haven't yet, subscribe. We are about to hit that 80,000 subscriber mark, and I cannot wait for this channel to get to 100,000 subscribers, so make sure you guys subscribe. Also, I will be back. I'm like, what day is it? I'll be back on Tuesday. I'll be back on Tuesday to talk about NXT. This NXT is going to be the new version of this new NXT that we're going to be getting. It's going to be no more black and gold. We're going to get white. We're going to get red, blue, orange, all of these colors. We're going to get a new set from the looks of it. And they had a pretty good card lined up. So make sure you guys, and the Index wedding. So there's going to be a lot to talk about on this week's edition of NXT. So make sure you guys tune into my post show because I have a feeling we're going to have a lot to talk about. Then after that, I will be back on Wednesday for Dynamite. And then Friday, I do not know if I'm going to be on here or not, guys, because I have been booked to ring announce at GCW again. Woo! So I will be at GCW on the 17th here in Los Angeles. So if you are a Los Angeles or SoCal person, definitely make sure to head out to the show. I think tickets are already sold out. So if you didn't get a ticket, I guess it's too late. But if not, you can watch the show on Fight TV. I'm going to be doing co-ring announcing duties with Emil. So it'll be great. You guys definitely want to tune in for that because the card is absolutely insane. Okay. Insane. So I don't know yet what's going to happen for that weekend and what I'm going to do, but there may not be a SmackDown Rampage review next week. So we'll see what happens, guys. We'll see what happens. But let's get into, lastly, the main event of SmackDown. We had the Usos versus the Street Profits for the tag team titles. Let's fast forward. Fun match, but let's fast forward to the finish. We had Montez Ford going for the frog splash and is about to get the win, but Roman Reigns ends up breaking the count and essentially causes a DQ. Roman then gets Montez Ford into a guillotine choke. The lights go down, and then, lo and behold, we have the demon, Finn Balor, and Finn Balor comes out, and so now we know that at Extreme Rules, we're going to be getting the demon Finn Balor against Roman Reigns. Now, whether or not we're going to see a new champion be crowned, I legitimately have no idea. I have not yet sat down and thought out my predictions yet. I feel like I need a little bit more time to figure out what direction I think they're going to go in. I know what direction, I don't even know what direction I want them to go in. So we'll see. Either way, it was a really fun way to end the show. A nice visual and a nice pop for the New York audience. Really good stuff all around. Alrighty, guys. Let's see if we got any more final comments here. This is a comment from Chad West who says, we all know Raw is trash. SmackDown is killing it. NXT will continue. ND. Oh, sorry, I didn't know what you were trying to say at the last moment there. You know what, though? I will say this. The last, I'm going to say 2 weeks of Raw have not been bad. And I think not last week, but the week before that was actually a pretty good show, if I remember. I hope I'm not messing up my timeline here, but I do remember liking a couple of episodes of Raw. And keep in mind, I watch the show every week, 3 hours a day. Oh, not a day, 3 hours every week live. So I'll let you guys know for sure when it's a good show, etc. And let's see what else we got here. Pretty just being excited for Finn. Good stuff, guys. Alrighty, everyone. There you go. That is the show. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me this Friday. Do not forget to head on over to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Denise Salcedo. Follow me on Twitter and or on Instagram @ Denise Salcedo. I'm almost at 40K on Twitter. So please, if you haven't followed me on there, head on over there. I'm trying to make that place grow as well. Other than that, have a wonderful weekend, everyone. And I'll see you on Tuesday for NXT coverage. Bye.